This club's about winning trophies. I'm inexperienced in a lot of those things.
3-0. Can you believe it?
Almost lost the cup and you win it. The new European champions, the treble, the dream come true for you.
Oh, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Football, bloody hell. But they never give in. And that's the winner.
Welcome to the American Red Devils podcast. I'm John.
I'm Alex.
And we are bringing you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond.
Woo, sir. How you doing? How you doing? Not how we wanted to start our season. Basically, we all feared a Palace team with an extra game in them. United start off slow. Boys are getting up to form. Palace had our number. They made us look average.
Early starts with Crystal Palace at Old Trafford haven't lined up well for Manchester United 2 seasons in a row. I say no excuses, play like a champion. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We got to be doing better. There's no excuses for me. United fans right now are gutted. Social media is just in full meltdown mode. The transfer window combined with a lack of pep in our step at home at Old T. There are no fans, so that there's an element to say there. The lads haven't been together quite a bit. It's almost preseason. If you really wanted to take a favorable view at Manchester United, it's preseason for them. They're not fit. They're not ready to go. What do you think, sir?
I'm not too worried. I'm bummed. I'm disappointed. I wanted the boys to perform better. I certainly wanted the 3 points.
Sir, you ate a shit sandwich at 9:30 in the morning.
I certainly wanted the 3 points, but like we said, we talked about it in the build-up to this game. The risk is always that you have a team that hasn't played a lot since they came back from holidays, right? Most of the boys showed up Tuesday, Wednesday. A lot of tired legs. We just didn't see the intensity. We got Luton. I like the fact that it's a game on Tuesday. We can turn things around right away, and then we got to beat Brighton away because that's a huge game. Because these are points that you got to be picking up. Otherwise, the games in October become must-wins.
I agree. To everyone saying, how could you make excuses? That was absolutely terrible. It was god-awful. The off-the-line penalty save. De Gea finally sees a pen. Ref calls it back. The VAR, what are you doing?
Madness.
It's just the whole day was doomed from the beginning. It's one of those where you just got to eat it. On to the next one. It's early at Manchester United. I think, Pogba just got back from coronavirus. Surprised he started over Van de Beek. He looked great coming on. Encouraging debut for him. Dan James didn't have it in him. A lot of tells, I think, for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer where the squad is now during this match. And hopefully we can make adjustments to Luton that can get some more game time, everyone can get fitter, and then on to Brighton away. We win there. We can, get our stride back.
Dude, people are bummed. I get it. I'm a United fan. We're United fans. We're bummed because who doesn't want, we saw all of our rivals play last weekend. A lot of them won. We wanted to show up, get a big victory, remind people that United should be sniffing around things that matter this season. And it's disappointing to flop at home against Palace, but hopefully I'm trying to be an optimistic today. Maybe this will motivate Woodward to get Sancho in, but at the end of the day, I think we need a center back. Let's sign a center back over Sancho, watching that game, and a left back. Defense is the priority now.
The long camera panned at Woodward at the end of the game with him. He doesn't look. The mask doesn't make him look better. I'll tell you. Either way, they are who we thought they were. Roy Hodgson, he's no tactical genius like I tweeted out. They're going to defend well. They're going to hit you on the counter. Our center back's got to do a job. Luke Shaw sleeping. Lindelof looking shaky from the start. There are already question marks last year. If he didn't get fit over the offseason, he's not ready to go earn that spot. We need to sign someone. We need to get rid of Chris Smalling so we can get the money to sign someone. United can we overcome the headwinds of having a terrible ownership, a terrible, DOF, so to speak, and Ed Woodward, he's running the football side of things. Can the squad overcome that? It's almost like the odds are stacked against us when you're not strengthening where you're weak every summer. The players don't leave. We don't get rid of the dead wood. Is it almost too much to ask for a whole season to come together?
We have to keep that in mind. We have to keep in mind the circumstances of this season, which are not normal, right? We had a COVID impact. It started later. We had no preseason. We had the boys had really no break at all. It's understandable.
No, but I
get it. The fact about will United succeed with the management team that they have in place? Probably not. Probably not. They're not going to win a title, I don't think, with Ed Woodward in charge. I just don't think it's going to happen. That being said, Ole's onto something. The boys are onto something. Donny Van de Beek had his debut. Got a good goal. Good for him. But there's a lot of promise in this squad. It's just that the shit that they should be doing day in, day out in the transfer market, which is getting rid of players and buying in reinforcements, they haven't done it. They got one player in. We got one rumor. And we got how many sales? 0? We got Gardner went on a loan, which is great. But Pereira's still around. I love Mata, but if you're going to move him on, or Lingard or Jones, that list is so long. We haven't moved a single body up.
Dude, Deadwood FC, like you said, it keeps growing. And not to get into the ownership side of things when we're talking about a pretty terrible match, I don't think anyone played particularly well where they earned the performance. But I just think that at a certain point, working for a bad company, it just bleeds down. It bleeds down to the staff, the morale. You think of the players. Think of the amazing finish they had at the end of last season. They gave 110%. I know obviously we're talking about this season, but last season it took everything out of them. They got there and they expected the board to back the manager, back the squad, get some excitement. There's got to be buzz around the trading ground when you're signing a bunch of new players. You're seeing good decisions being made on the footballing side of footballing operations, and not seeing that has to kind of be a drain on the momentum of the squad, where it's the same old. They always hold back, day late, dollar short. They don't get the deals done early. It's always last minute, and it's going to affect the manager. I think we saw that in a press conference coming up. He's trying to play coy. Ole, Mr. Nice Guy, right? I'm sure he wants to say, hey, man, this is Manchester United. We got to be buying players. He played.
He's saying more than he usually does. He is speaking up for Ole.
It's affecting him. It's got to affect the dressing room. It's got to affect the players. And eventually it's going to affect the results on the pitch if they're not where they want to be.
Sure, let's compare it to one of our least favorite clubs, which is the Chelsea Scum. They've got a young manager. He got them into the top 4 like ours, but they got his wish list done by the first game of the season. 5-6 positions, backfilled, no problem, no fuss, no muss. That's it. Ole got one hiring, got one signing thus far. He's left back foot, can't even get a left back, right? Reguilon falls apart. Tell us. We're late.
I'm not saying Chelsea 200 million spree. And by the way, they
get
banned.
Business done. They get business done.
I agree. They were banned for a year, so they're kind of making up for it. You have to caveat that. But to not spend 100 to 150 net for Manchester United, that would include selling Smalling for 20, include selling Delo. That'd probably be 200 gross spend for United. Is about market for what we should be seeing, especially after we get top 4. And unfortunately, as fans, we're kind of coming to that, we've been enjoying the Arsenal meltdown for a while now. We've been seeing them just melt down about top 4, but they become a top 4 club, and United not spending this summer as intent to try to contest for the title. That says it all right there. That this is a money-making organization until the Glazers are out. #Glazers out. Get your scarves. americanreddevils.com. We're ordering more, sir. I mean, this has got to be the focus. It sucks we're talking about it early on the pod. We don't want to, but I just have to think that we're fighting headwinds all around. Almost like Jose Mourinho moment with Ole being like, I want Sancho, and they're not getting him.
And that's a great PSA for the pod, because check out the store, get yourself a Glazer Out scarf, because I think we sold one for every single goal we conceded today this morning. People were just picking them up because they know that this is Ole's going to get the blame. The players going to get the blame. We're going to blame Harry Maguire. We're going to blame Lindelof. We're going to blame everybody. But at the end of the day, it comes down to who's running the show. It's Eddie and co, Matt Jughead Judge. They can't get a deal done, and they're just leaving their manager out to dry. And Ole is a good guy, and he's going to protect them. But he's dude, he needs to get reinforced.
It's a crime, and one that we will cover, sir. But like you said, let's get into the PSA. American Red Devils, for fans, by fans. We want that unbiased voice here. We don't have any commercial sponsors, no nothing, sir. We just try to support ourselves. Visit our store, americanreddevils.com. You can click on store. We got our new scarf incoming, 2021 scarf. Greatest of English football. We've won it all. With all the trophies we've won.
Doesn't change.
We need to drape ourselves in that history to protect us from all the whinging, all the darts we're getting from the Chelsea fans this season. Drop a review on iTunes. That goes a long way for us getting found. That's the number one way fans found our podcast when we did the survey. 5 stars. Email a screenshot to americanreddevils.com. americanreddevils@gmail.com. We will send you a sticker. We got a few this week. Really appreciate you. That does go a long way. Subscribe on YouTube, sir. Anything. Did I forget anything?
Check out the blog, americanreddevils.com. We've got a ton of great contributors that have been getting an awesome amount of content up this week. So check it out. Do yourself a favor. And we got a game to break down.
And the whole thing is, Our position, for fans, by fans.
Always.
Tweet us your opinions. We'll tweet them out. You want to write for us, we'll put it on the blog. That is what we are about, is about getting the fan voices out there. Some fan voices, a little crazy in both ways, Ole in, Ole out. We want to hear everyone's perspective because we're the fans. We're not supposed to be the experts with suits on telling you how to think. We're just saying this is how we feel. It's a gut reaction, and that's what we want this pod to be about. The fans.
The fans' hot take, filled with banter. We're not going to get every last name right, but the passion will certainly be there in abundance.
All right, let's break down this match. I don't even want to get into it, sir. It's like if I'm having a physical reaction.
Like a Band-Aid. Like a Band-Aid.
Crystal Palace 3. You called the score in the wrong direction. It was Old Trafford this morning, 9:30 a.m. on Pacific Peacock Premium, just to rub the salt in the wound. Lineup, Dave says world number 1 in net. Fosu Mensah right back, Lindelof, Maguire, and Shaw on the left. McTominay, Pogba, midfield 2. Fernandes in the hole. Rashford on the left. James on the right. Martial up top. James gets the nod over Greenwood. He would get the hook at halftime, sir. Would you make of that lineup? This is surely a winning side against Crystal Palace at home, no?
I mean, that's what I thought. I was excited about the lineup. I was happy to see that Pogba made it. I'm glad to see that Tim was given a chance to step up at right back. I thought he played tidy. All things considered, he was not the worst defender on the field by far. You look at that squad at home, that's got to be good enough to beat a Palace team, right? Roy Hodgson,
tactical genius. He's like the poor man's David Moyes. He's got that old English style, and it works, and he's getting the best out of Crystal Palace. And for some reason, they're like a boogeyman. Last season, the difference between last year when we lost, that was kind of like they pipped us. It should have been a draw. They pipped us for the win. Didn't deserve the win. This time, they deserve 4-1, 5-1 at home.
They whipped us. We got whipped.
This is 90 minutes, end-to-end, Crystal Palace taking the piss out of Manchester United. And there's no, this is where I'll get angry, is there's no excuse. You have to rail the players. There's no excuse you should be outplayed by Crystal Palace at home. It's an abomination of the jersey. It's an abomination of the badge. It was just a complete nightmare. And you can totally say, hey, look, we've had a hell of a season, the restart, everything, yada, yada, yada. But there's no excuse. We were rash. We went behind 1 goal. We looked like we were never in it. We had no confidence. We were not calm on the ball. It was just a slop. It was a complete shit show, sir. Absolute shit show, end to end. Before we get into the specifics.
Tell me what you really think. No, you're right. The last time we'd seen effort this low, if I can think about it, is the end of Ole's first season, when we just completely fell apart. Remember, we got beaten 4-0 by Everton. It was just we got outplayed, and there wasn't even close. And we've lost to teams sometimes that play better than us, worse than us, but this is a team that is clearly inferior in terms of squad depth and quality, and they look better than us all game. For the moment. They really did.
Mentality.
It wasn't good.
They had heart. First half, United come out slow. Palace looking to press and force United into errors. There was a few. It got pretty close there, and then we didn't have to wait long, sir. In the 7th minute, I don't even want to go there.
And they actually lost 1 match fewer than Manchester City, but 12 draws cost them. That's slumped, and here's an opening for Andros Townsend, and Manchester United are shocked from the start, because in the 7th minute, Palace take the lead here. Townsend the scorer.
Well, it's been coming. He'll know it's been coming, because these Crystal Palace players have been confident on the ball. They're making runs in behind. That Manchester United backline tries to push up, but as said before the game, if Lindelof and Maguire were one-on-one against any of those Crystal Palace 4 strikers forwards, they would have a problem with it. And it's a brilliant finish from Townsend. It's on his weaker right foot at the back post, but he does the right thing and puts it back across David De Gea. He gets an hand to it, I think, the goalkeeper.
Sir, I can just see your reaction in the chair watching that goal go in. How does that make you feel?
Well, I don't need to hear more about Gary Neville talking about. Well, he's right. He's spot on.
He's a United legend.
Well deserved. He's calling it like he sees it.
Have you won the treble like Gary Neville?
That's it's the kind of goals we gave up last season when we were fighting to finish in the top 4. It's the exact same kind of goal. It's just like that first ball should never come in by Lindelof, and Shaw should be at the back. It's just bad in the front, bad in the back. It's a shit goal to give up. Yikes! 7th minute.
I think on the pod we said, we get a lot wrong, but sometimes blind squirrel finds an acorn. We said 1v1 Lindelof going, they're going to defend well, they're going to counter us. They knew they are who we thought they were, sir. Yeah, we knew exactly what they're going to do. We know the playbook, and it's you got to be sharp. In the 7th minute, you can't be making those. It's inexcusable, lazy from Luke Shaw. That was a meat pie move.
Both of them.
Lindelof. You know how I feel about Victor. It's We need someone in behind. We need someone fighting for that position. He has not earned it. For some reason, he's the marked on number one. I think Bailly should be in the mix. Smalling should be in the mix if he's around. We need to be rotating because you're going to play like that on our first game. It's just like, take a seat, have a seat. He was absolutely all over the pitch. Like I said, I don't know what he does well. Name something he does. He doesn't play the ball well. He doesn't hit a pass out of the back.
He can pass occasionally.
Occasionally,
he's got decent intelligence occasionally.
Not
Today
good
was
for
one of the
United.
worst games he's probably had for Manchester. He was very bad. We all agree Victor did not have a good game, but Shaw wasn't perfect. Maguire had some howlers as well.
Not as
but
bad. So-
no, Victor was like a standout. Like
Yes.
this is 7th minute, setting the precedent pretty early. That ball does not come in. You not let that early ball in. But Shaw should be there too. It's just sloppy joppy.
Dude, he gave up the pen, and then he got beat by Zaha for the number 3.
I know.
So
He had the
you
worst
could
game of the
blame
day.
almost
Okay,
all
he-
three of
okay.
these on. I don't want to go after him, but I just think he's kind of like he's been knighted at United in the center back pairing, and for how long? It's one of those things where it's like, how long are we going to look at him and be like, he's a good number 3. He'd be a great number 3, honestly. Like I'm not nothing against the guy. Maybe if you bring in a competition, he'll rise to the occasion.
I mean, people are talking about the fact that an 18-year-old might be taking this spot this year. People are rating Menji to be taking the starting spot by the end of the season. That's too much to ask. 18-year-old center back. It doesn't happen. It's not like a striker, Some strikers get that early heat, but it's very unlikely that like a sub 20-year-old can be your dominant center back.
But
in
we
the Premier
hit
League.
on this point is like,
need a
look,
center back.
everyone wants, what do we say? Everyone wants the sexy Sancho signing, but Sancho ain't going to defend that goal. We need competent center backs. We need backup cover at right back and left back. It's clear that our defense is the one thing going this season that we need to shore up. And look, we're hearing about a left back cover, but I really think I would rate center back the number one position that we need to fill.
I mean,
Healthy
center back, another CDM for Matic, right? McTominay did okay today, but he's not as good as like an Ndidi kind of that's going to just shut down their break. We looked susceptible, whereas Matic is better at shutting that down. You have to admit, we looked vulnerable on the break every time because I think we need like a bruiser CDM. When you have a team like that, it's so dangerous on the counter, and we don't have buy-in center back, right? You have like Victor and Maguire. It just didn't work.
You need your center backs to play. If you're going to go all out attack like Liverpool, you need your center backs to be able to stand people up 1v1 and win those big challenges, sir. 20th minute, first good chance for United. Pogba takes a scuff shot from the edge of the box. I like Pogba trying to shoot, create more. I know Bruno is usually in that position, but seeing Pogba get in that space above the box, I actually like that. Something was off. I think his fitness with Pogba. I'm going to take a pass on criticizing him like a lot of people have online. 22nd minute, United start waking up. McTominay tries a curler. I thought this one was close. He's got a shot in his locker. I really rate McTominay. I think he needs time. So you got to trust McTominay. You got to trust the process with him a little bit. He's no Matic yet, but I think in time he can be that. 39th minute, Pogba, VAR check, no penalty. What were your thoughts on this one? We were praying to the VAR guys before the game. We got smoked.
I mean, it was okay. I wasn't furious that we didn't get the penalty, but when we got the David De Gea saves his first penalty since I can remember overturned because he does whatever. I'm just saying that changed this call for me. When watching it, I wasn't like, that's probably not a pen.
If it was a better ball, it would have been a pen. I mean, it was totally a foul, and if the ball was just not good enough, he couldn't have gotten to it. So in order to give that, I think it would have been harsh. Better pass if it was in front of him. Definite penalty, 100%. 46th minute, Dave saves, huge save to deny Andre Ayew before the half. Could have been 2-0. De Gea stepping up. I thought he had a good game. In the first half, he kind of came out. It was a little awkward. He's still getting used to that, but I do think De Gea played well.
No, he did because he had some big saves in this game for sure. He bails us out. He gets criticized, but he didn't make a mistake today.
So you're having trouble thinking of positive things to say about this side?
Sorry, I thought we'd go through this recap like a Band-Aid, and it's like torture. I'm thinking about the game, and Powell's just outplaying us. So you go into halftime. What are you thinking, sir? What is Ole telling the boys?
Sir, I think I had my sunglasses on at this point. I was sinking into the couch. It was one of those arms crossed, just not having it. 1-0, Crystal Palace. Greenwood on for James, a sub that a lot of people wouldn't analyze too much, but Ole never pulls this halftime sub. James getting the hook. Why you think in this spot in this game he decided to hook James? He never hooks halftime. Very rarely does he hook halftime. We're only down a goal.
I know, but James offered nothing in the first half, to be fair. And that's not a criticism of James. It's just the whole team wasn't clicking, and he wasn't involved at all. And at the end of the day, Greenwood is a more dangerous player than Dan James at the moment. So I get this sub. I also I wish Modric was available, or even I might have put Donnie in at this point because I think you need even more than that. We were so not the front team in this first half that I wouldn't have faulted Ole for making 2 subs at halftime.
Yeah, so the thing is, Greenwood in the James combination, I think that the reason why he started James was kind of to tell Greenwood, hey, easy on the antics. I think that's primarily why I did. That's why he came in at half, because we need 2. But Matic for me is the sub because what I noticed is that we were very rash in the middle of the park. We weren't calm on the ball. Hey, take a moment. Let's pass around. Let's find the right opportunities. Let's not lose our cool. We lost our cool, especially going down 2. And that's something this Manchester United side, we got to get a grip on the game. We had a lot of the ball, did nothing with it. And we looked so vulnerable at the back where you have some possession in the middle of the park. You give your center back some rest. Positionally, you can basically reset the formation of the team, give everyone the right position, move it around, and try to exploit Palace from there. It was always going to be a breakdown 10 men, Crystal Palace. That's the game we were meant to play, but I didn't see us playing that.
And even lack of energy coming out makes sense. It makes sense, but you can defend it. We were sloppy in the second half. We'll get into it. I mean, more of the same from United, like we said to start the half. Not direct or tidying up, but they were just sloppy. They're giving the ball away. Pogba was giving it away. Maguire was giving it away.
Some of the passing is fucking scratchy.
Super fucking scratchy, and it's true. It was just it wasn't tidy enough. And Palace, they take it, dude. They're dangerous on the break. They got a fast front 3, so they will punish you if you give them the chance.
No, absolutely. 60th minute, great headed chance for Greenwood. I mean, RVP would have scored that one, sir. 66th, Zaha has a goal disallowed, offsides by VAR, but he stood up the hand, just blasted the top corner. He was miles off, though. 67th sub, Donny van de Beek. What a debut for him. He comes on, everyone. I think he brought some energy into the side. Not enough, though. It would be a little too late. 68th minute. Ball falls to Lindelof for some nice play, but he can only blast it over. I mean, you're asking a lot of the center back to be able to finish that one.
Totally.
Sir,
it was a half chance.
I would have hit in the bleachers.
Lucky. You would have hit it.
69th minute, sir. Tough one. Penalty to Crystal Palace, sir. The Eagles.
Townsend. Back through towards Andros Townsend, but Jordan Ayew could get in here. Ayew! Got a deflection off Lindelof, which took some of the evidence for himself.
This was a weird one. Opportunity happened, then VAR called it back. I think they gave it because his arm was kind of moving at the ball. Kind of a T-Rex arm.
No, I mean, they have to call it.
It was kind of
it was out. It was right there, and unnatural position, you would say, for defenders.
Penalty.
He has given it.
This is what pissed me off.
Well, differing views.
The next VAR.
By the way, he got nutmegged on the build up to this as well.
And Ayew, it's a weak penalty save.
What a save! Dave saves. I think that this is insane. This rule. Now I'm gonna get mad.
It's madness. It's ridiculous.
I didn't even think he moved.
No, he did not move off the line, and that's horseshit, dude. They don't call this ever. I've never seen it called once in the Premier League.
All right, so he saves the penalty. Ball goes out of bounds. Then they're gonna do a VAR check on De Gea coming off the line, which is this is hairline stuff, and this is, in my opinion, where replay ruins sport. It literally, that's a safe pen.
Makes it a game. 1-0. This is a game we're in.
Why is replay punishing keepers who already have an insane time stopping penalties?
Absolute disgrace. He is 2 inches.
Thank you, Gary Neville. Gary Neville calls like it is.
He's actually
it's a joke.
Just at the
it's a
point
joke
whereby
of a call.
The penalty taker's taking it. He runs up quite slowly, which we're talking millimeters. That is unbelievable.
Roy Hodgson's team 2-0 ahead.
Fuck me.
Zaha does score. No mistake this time from the spot. And it looks as though Zaha...
I mean, you rewatch it, that's some horse shit right there. Because that call is never made in a full house Old Trafford. There is no way David De Gea saves a penalty and then they overturn it. It would never happen. And that's just this is you're playing Old Trafford, but you don't have the fans, and it loses some of the mystique and the power that it carries when the Stretford Inn is bouncing.
Not to, not to speak. That's true. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.
Sir, I don't want to be in big trouble. Here, I mean, this to me is the replay in sport. There's a balance between, you get in American football, you have what's a catch. When you start debating what's a catch and did the ball move, it ruins the competition. And for a keeper to be penalized for, he had maybe 1 foot, his back heel was like off the line by what Gary Neville said, 2 inches.
No,
and
that's
then
crazy.
You're going to be like, nope, line up again and like give him a goal. I mean, this would have been I bet you Manchester United comes back and wins.
Totally. That changed the game here. He saved a penalty. De Gea never saves penalties because he's good at other stuff. He saves a penalty. It's 1-0. You're at Old Trafford. The team is fired. Are you kidding me? Dude, that's why the Pogba penalty shout in the first half, it's not a penalty. But if that is overturned, then that's a fucking penalty.
No, I agree. Look, you have to...
It was a bad day. It was a tough day at the office for us.
Once this happened, I said, all right, I'm good. So, look, the player, they didn't play well, but they got like a terrible draw from the referee. They got terrible calls. The one goes for, like, Pogba, no pen. Then you get the Lindelof handball pen. Then the keeper's off the line after he saves it, and then they score. It's like
crazy.
It's kind of like... Let the game, just play the game. A certain level. If the ref doesn't call it, is that a clear and obvious error?
If they start doing that, then football, oof.
It's
like you're on the up, and now all of a sudden you're going to start like NFLing the Premier League. That's a dangerous thing to do.
I know it is.
You make the product like shit real quick.
The problem is there has to be you have to admit the offsides when they draw those lines and it's like half a centimeter. That's like nobody wants that either. Like there has to be a certain margin of error where it's not just like the De Gea off the line, or you get draw the lines with offsides. Nobody enjoys that.
I mean, the only thing that I said when we watched the game is like this has to be a new precedent. If they're going to start like overturning penalties,
they are. They said they would look at it this season. This was a thing that they're going to look at because I'm sure they've looked at replays. The keepers are always off their line, and now they're going to make it known.
If this is the first of many disallowed saves, then I will be less furious in a couple months. But it still feels egregious because we just haven't. I've never seen that in the Premier League.
No, this was they said as part of VAR, this is something they're going to be looking at, and I'm sure it's because like 80% of the time the keepers are off the line. But I think from a fan's perspective, it should be the keeper should get the benefit of the doubt, right? It should be like if you have 1 foot on the line, then you're good because the penalties are so hard to save.
Also, that was so close. He was like, it was so tight that's absurd because it wasn't. I've seen some off the lines.
So I think we're whinging.
Yeah, we are.
I think we're absolutely. But this was it. I mean, that was kind of the game. United. 80th minute, holding on. Maguire gives the ball away badly. McTominay with the last minute challenge. I have to say, Bruno running back, McTominay running back. They had to try to bail out their center backs because 1v1, we just looked dusted. There was a highlight. There was something to look forward to in the game, sir. Dane.
Lindelof. Mensah with a cross. And it's in! And it's the new man, Donny van der Beek, who's marked his debut with the goal that could start a much-needed Manchester United fight back. What a start for the Dutchman!
Composed finish. Mitchell goes out as they have been all day. It's a bit of a scruffy cross. It's Kouyaté who just does some sort of weird mad kick in front of Joel Ward who puts him off. And it deflects back into the path of Van der Beek and he finishes really well.
Finishes really well. If there is a positive glass half full moment, our Dutch midfielder gets his goal at Old Trafford on his debut. That's got to feel great. The best part about it, didn't even celebrate, started running back. He knows what it is. He's a big-time footballer. It's all about winning. He didn't celebrate like Dan James famously did last season. He ran back to his position, clapped on the lads, let's go. I mean, this is a bright start for him. A big deal to score like that.
Not just scoring, great goal to get, nice tidy finish, but he also looked good. He looked very good around the box. He knew exactly his movement was good. He linked up really well with Martial, with Bruno. So
the 1-2s.
He looks like great. I mean, we gotta have positives of this game. He's definitely one of them because he looks a proper United player and what we need. A little bit more injection of the Dutch connect. I love it.
Getting back into the glass half empty camp, 81st minute, Gallo FC on.
Didn't look great.
Gallo FC, you got that. He's enjoying playing for United too much. He's got to get back to the goal scoring ways. He had a few chances. Big man like him has got to hold the ball up. It looked like his touch let him down a few times. I thought he could have done better.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't had a lot of minutes, but you'd like him to come on, make more of an impact because that's what you want. His hold-up play was good last season. It was lacking today.
All right. It's not over. It's not over.
Palace.
Glass half empty here, 85th minute. Guy used to play for Manchester United, Wilfried Zaha.
Mitchell. And it's Wilfried Zaha. Oh, he's done brilliantly! What a return to Old Trafford! This man is enjoying.
All right, I mean, even just watch that goal. I mean, Lindelof don't even play for us anymore. I mean, to me, that is probably the worst defending, worst effort I've seen from a Manchester United defender in the longest time. Pass comes in, made no challenge. Zaha coming in on him, no challenge. Obviously, it's in the box, but he let him have it.
He had a
didn't
bad
even
day.
care. Didn't even care. Like, didn't even care. Like, get a red.
He had a
Take
bad,
him down. Give him a pen.
He had a very bad day. I mean,
You
Lindelof,
need
the more you
something.
watch it, you see Victor had one of the worst days he's had for a United player in a long time. And
But he doesn't mind. He doesn't. Where's the frustration? Get a red. I don't care. Something. If you're going to go down, you got to fight. You got to fight. You can't just let him walk over you. He let him walk all over.
He's not playing against Luton Town. I think the Swede's going to find some time on the bench coming up because it's not good enough. And it wasn't just him, but he had a howler. Every goal was his, if you think about it.
I give Luke Shaw the benefit of the doubt because he's probably not the fitness. But just if you're a center back like Lindelof, you know that the back line's in question. You know they're thinking about buying center backs. How do you not come back 110? You know, I understand maybe Martial or Bruno had a kid, but Lindelof, you want to be the starting center back at Manchester United. You got to come back sharp. We got to come back on it. I think Maguire played decent. I think he played pretty good, but I don't know.
He played fair, but I mean, Victor's had a bad game. Just a bad day all around. You know, the breaks didn't go for us. There are some positives. It is the first match of the season. We don't want to get too doom and gloom. And we can turn things around pretty quickly with a nice resounding victory on Tuesday and a big win the following weekend. No one will remember about this game. But
how many more?
What do they react? What's the reaction from the boys is the big question. I hope this, because they know they were poorly, you know, they didn't play great, but they also got some bad calls. I think this will fire up the boys.
No, I agree with you holistically, but seeing a player have that type of effort for Manchester United, even though it's 85th minute, you're down a goal. I expect Manchester United thinking that we can tie or win. And to see him basically give up in that situation, to me, that is more of a crime than anything. You could mess up. De Gea can make an error. I back De Gea. You know, Dan James, he's young. Give him time. No effort when you're a center back at Manchester United and you just let him have it. To me, that to me is almost unforgivable because you got to put in effort at least. You know, and I know I'm being a dead horse here, but that to me, of all the things that I could call out, that was the worst part of it. And the referee, I can go all day.
We know you can.
Keep going.
We know you can.
You have to look at the data.
All right. You heard from LVG, match stats, Crystal Palace, 22% of the ball, United 78%. We did nothing. Shots on target, sir. It was 5 to Crystal Palace, 4 to Manchester United. Corners, we took them out, but we had more shots off target. Again, Crystal Palace, they are who we thought they were. They would pack it in, defend, and hit us on the counter. Crystal Palace have won consecutive league games away against Manchester United for the first time ever. They're just the second London club to win consecutively in Premier League at Old Trafford after Tottenham, and they did it in 2012. 13 and 2013-14, sir. It's been a while since a team from London could pip us for 2 in a row at our house. I mean, that says a lot. People have to remember Old Trafford was a fortress. We never lost there, especially to teams like Crystal Palace. United have lost their opening home game to a Premier League campaign for just the third time. We lost to Everton in 1992-93 and Swansea in 14-15.
Completely different seasons. One went really well, one not so much.
And like you said, a lot of people are going to overreact. I might be overreacting against Lindelof. Maybe some people are saying I'm being harsh. I tend to be.
The fans will give us their take in a bit.
But at the end of the day, it's how do they pick up the pieces from here? What is the intent of the season? Are they going to lay down or are they going to come back fighting? I think, like you said, Luton's a great game to get back into it. Crystal Palace scored more than twice for the first time in 40 Premier League games. That's bad.
Oh, my God.
And the last time they did it, they beat Bournemouth 5-3, and Bournemouth were relegated, just to give you an idea of how bad our defense was today. Manchester United keeper David De Gea has failed to save none of the last 18 penalties. I would argue he did save it.
I think he did save a penalty.
And Donny van de Beek becomes the 20th player to score in his Premier League debut for Manchester United, and the 10th of those to do those as a substitute. Dan James, one of them as well, last season against Chelsea 4-0. Contrasting last season's 4-0 to this 3-1. Going the wrong way. Whew, the feeling is, it's rough. It's rough. I'd rather lose to Chelsea than, Crystal Palace because this is an easy game. We need the points. We need the points.
I'm much rather lose the Palace. Because then we got to beat Chelsea, right? We're gonna drop these points, and then we're gonna have everything to play for in October.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
United never likes to do it the easy way.
Like a harder opposition out of the way. If you lose on the first day against hard opposition, yeah, it sucks. But it's kind of like, all right, now let's get on to the Crystal Palaces of the world, get those points, work our way up the table.
Think about how we started last season. We won that game and then absolutely shat the bed for weeks and weeks and weeks. So I would rather have us shit the bed against Palace and then be like, holy crap, boys, we want to win anything this season? Let's turn it up.
But what's the theme? We struggle against lower table opposition. What the hell?
It's the first game of the season. They're out of form. Pogba looked like,
all right.
It was not vintage Pogba. Let's see what's the manager guy say.
Ole, Mr. Nice Guy, save us from ourselves. Yeah, I love these COVID pressers. They're great.
Okay, welcome to the press conference. I'm here to take your question. James Cooper, would you like to go first?
Hi, good evening, Ollie. I know there'll be talking points about the VAR and what have you, but I imagine there was an awful lot in that performance that probably frustrated you on top of the VAR stuff.
Yeah, you can see we're short, and they deserve the points. They were sharper than us in the challenges, tackles. We started off slowly. That got a knock-on effect for the rest of the game when they got their first goal.
Samuelis?
Hi, Ollie. I just wonder, you just mentioned then that you felt you were short. Is that because the season finished so late, or why would you put that? What would you put that down to?
Of course, we had a long season last season, and we didn't finish until 16th or 17th of August, and we've not had enough preparation time to be sharper. Of course, we've worked hard with the ones who've been here. There's been a few players away on internationals, but I believe when I spoke to Roy, he said they've had 4 friendlies, and this is the 3rd competitive game, which obviously is a bit different to our one against Aston Villa last week.
How easy is it going to be for you to find some form? Because obviously that's 3 points lost there. You've got another game next week. You haven't got any time to play yourself into form, have you?
No, we don't. But you have to make the most of the time you've got, and we've already started playing catch up, of course, and it showed that we will need time, and but we'll improve hopefully quicker than we.
So you sound like you don't want to hear anymore.
I appreciate Ole being positive, but I'm dying. This is brutal because I know he's like, I ain't getting no reinforcements from the higher ups. Where's my backup? Can't even get a left back before the season starts. Hello? Where's the money, Lebowski? Where's the money, Lebowski? I mean, it's like, where is the money? He saved your asses. Finish the Champions League. Where's the money?
Sorry, it's there is no money. I wrote an article about it. Check it out, americanreddevils.com. All right, we have a hot take here from Caleb. He is a blog contributor at American Red Devils. Shot us his thoughts on the match. Let's listen to Caleb.
For a match that was plagued by slow-moving individuals and missed chances and opportunities, uncompleted crosses, bad passes, and no forward aggression, I'm surprised the margin was only 3-1. Crystal Palace looked like the superior team. Our goalkeeping was off par in the beginning. Issues with penalties. All in all, between this day and match day next Saturday, I thought we were looking at maybe taking 3 points. I think we have a better chance against Brighton than we did today, but we got to figure out a new game plan because this is not working.
Look, Caleb, appreciate the hot take there. You hear it in his voice. I mean, we sound the same. We're trying to bring the energy, positivity. It's just, it's hard not to just beat that dead horse. He's like, God damn it, Lindelof, what are you doing? You're killing me. No, it was rough all around the edges. But the one thing that Ole said that makes sense is that, and also Caleb said, is the new game plan. What do we look like in a month from now? It's like, can we pull it together? Again, we know we had a short off season. We know that we haven't had enough time together, but you're still playing the Premier League. You still need to try to win it if you're Manchester United. So how are you going to be able to do it? And in a month, say we're really not full steam probably through, end of October, really. If you think about it, fit, firing, it's going to take some time. And how is Ole going to manage in the weeks leading up to it? And we're just going to have to see,
I mean, Simon asked about playing yourself into form. It's a good point. It's like, Palace had so many more games than United's had in the build-up, but we are going to have to play ourselves into form, and it's, we don't have the worst run of it. Luton's a good chance to get the boys playing. I think you start another strong 11, and you try and get up from there. Brighton, it's going to be another tough match because they're going to have minutes in them, but tooth and nail, dude. There's going to be so many games this season. We can't lose our heads right now. There's a lot to play for. You should kick certain players in the ass, right? Knock Lindelof to the bench. That'll get to his head. Put another, who's next in line? Twanzebe? Menji? Phil Jones, I don't know, but whoever it is next. Lindelof, he's got to sit on the bench for a bit.
Hey, Caleb, have a dark ale, kick back, relaxed. And that's why we always have a next matcher. We buried that Crystal Palace. It was tough talking about. Like we said, podcast is therapy. Got out of our system. We are on to Luton Town. Crystal Palace, don't even think about that. Luton Town Tuesday, tight turnaround, but obviously you get a lot of, we're going to get a look at maybe some youngsters here. September 22nd, 12:15 Pacific. Who are Luton Town, sir? They are a football club based in the town of Luton, Bedfordshire, England. They say that is the north, sir. I actually don't even know where that is in England, but every time I hear something like Luton, Bedfordshire, England, I think of the Game of Thrones for some reason. They compete in the Championship. That's the second tier of English football. I'm sure most listening know that. Founded in 1885, nicknamed the Hatters, sir. What a name. Luton Town Hatters coming. And they're affiliated to Bedfordshire County Football Association. The team plays its matches at Kenilworth Road, where it has been based since 1905. And the club's history include major honors, several financial crises. They survived a few Glazers in their history, numerous promotions and relegations, and some spells of sustained success. It was perhaps the most prominent between 1982 and 92 when they were the member of the top division at that time, and the team won its only major honor, the EFL Cup, sir, in 1988. I believe that was against Arsenal. And, Manchester United could be worse. You could be Luton Town. You could be the Hatters.
You could be. I'll tell you what, people are pretty upset losing to Palace. How do you think it'd be if we get knocked out of the EFL Cup third round by a championship side? You think people will get a little fired up?
People will get fired up, and I definitely don't think this game is going to be as straightforward.
No.
Given the points Ole made, we haven't been together. It's a championship side. They probably have. They probably had more matches under their belt. And at the end of the day, championship these days, especially if there's a lot of rotation for our squad, it's not a given.
No, it isn't. And this is in many ways a good tune-up match because we need minutes. There are a lot of players that need game time. And Luton, if he did crash out, it's not the end of the world, right? EFL Cup is not everything. We're not Spurs. So we have to keep that in mind.
That being said,
this is a tune-up match. You want to win. You want to change the storyline, which is United came out flat and you get a big victory, kind of like Tranmere Rovers game that bought Ole a lot of cred before Bruno came in January when things were getting a little spicy. Now, this is not that. We know what Ole deserves, and that's time. But Luton Town, we lose, people can get pretty reactionary pretty quickly. So let's get a big win. It might be an ugly win, but whatever it takes.
Luton Town have a long-standing rivalry with nearby club Watford, who was just relegated to the Championship, so that will be a interesting derby. Last time we played them was in 1992 in the first division. We drew 1-1 against Luton Town. Our whole record we played, was it 39? We won 28, drawn 7, and lost 4. So our first game, September 18th, 1897, Newton Heath versus Luton Town. We got spanked in the second division. So rich history at Luton Town, not a lot of trophies. They've had a few owners come in and suck out the cash. Feels like we're living in that era. But hey, Manchester United, let's focus on ourselves, not Luton Town. Physioroom.com, Twanzebe's injured. He'll be out probably until mid-October. Matic is just fighting fitness. Romero not available for selection. Maybe he's being sold. Who knows? Phil Jones knee injury. No comment there. He's hanging out with Ed Woodward in the stands, enjoying it. Never playing for Manchester United, reaping those wages. Phil Jones, Lee Grant. Name me a better job in the world.
That is a good gig. It's going to be interesting what happens with Sergio Romero. So are you ready for lineups? Are we doing, where are we at?
Yeah, let's do some lineups, sir. What's your lineup?
So I'm thinking it's EFL Cup, so it's got to be Dean Henderson in net. He deserves a start. AWB gets his first start of the season. I'm doing a back line of Menji. Lindelof, take a seat, paired with Maguire, and then at left back, I think it's going to be Luke Shaw. You got to get those minutes up. Midfield, I'm going to do Donny van de Beek with Fred, and then Bruno, and a front three of Martial, Rashford, Greenwood. I think you start with the hot front, and you need to get some goals in them.
All right, we got our new cup keeper. Hendo is in net. Fonsa, Bailly, Maguire, Shaw. You got to keep that back line. Switching it up with Lindelof, you're fired. Matic coming in. He needs minutes. Luton Town would be the way to do it. Mata, Van de Beek, Martial, Rashford, Greenwood. I think the front three, you got to get them goals. I think Ole knows they need fitness, they need goals. But I honestly think Pogba might need a rest. Save him for playing against Brighton. Matic, he needs minutes. Get him in there. And kind of do this semi-rotation, not too much. Get some players some fitness, get some players some goals, and then kick on to Brighton. Because it is Tuesday to Saturday turnaround?
Right. And you can tell one thing. Who needs a game and ready to start? It's Donny. I think he is super excited and ready to start, and exactly what this team needs right now. There haven't been a lot of signings in, but the one that we did make, he looks a tidy player that will bring a lot to this club.
All right, so just fact check on the pod. Luton is nowhere near the north. It is in the south, right next to London. So Luton Town, apologies. But Bedfordshire sounds fancy. The Hatters, they wear those nice hats.
It's the Shire. I think you're thinking of
Lord of the Rings.
Exactly.
All right, booking the bookies. We don't have the odds for the Luton game. I imagine Manchester United is heavily favored, but we do have the odds on the outright. Who is favored to win the EFL Cup has evaded us. We're hungry hippos for a silverware, sir. We're dying for a trophy. It's been 3 years, the longest spell in a long time at Manchester United. City are favored to win plus 300. Liverpool next in line plus 600. Chelsea tied with us plus 700. Arsenal behind plus 900. Right now, if you think about EFL, this is kind of what people also think about the league. We rank up. We're kind of tied with Chelsea and Liverpool. City clearly the leaders, with City even favored to Liverpool, although they're strengthening right now at the moment.
I think that speaks to what they see at the top five, right? Because I think all the teams are still in it. So they rate Chelsea ahead of us with the transfers they made. They're expecting Super Frank to finish third. And those Chelsea fans, they're gonna be yipping all year. That's what they do. Just remind them what their club is built on.
I'll let you know. I'm getting tons of texts from the Chelsea fans just loving life right now. Score prediction for Luton. Who you got?
It's not going to be easy by any regard. I think it's going to be a tough as nails kind of result. 2-1 United. Martial gets a goal. Rashford gets a goal. United march on.
All right. I think I'm going to say 3-0. We didn't do it in the opener. We're going to do it against Luton Town, sir.
There you go.
Who's
your scorers? Who's scoring?
Sir, Greenwood. He's got to score. Greenwood came on, didn't do much. That was tough.
No one did much.
It was no one's day.
Donny did. Actually, Donny looked the best. Donny probably had the best performance of the day.
Yeah, I would say man of the match, Donny van de Beek. De Gea, you also got a nod.
Yeah.
You got tip your cap.
He had a great game too.
To De Gea for saving the pen. He gets a criticism. He does it. It felt bad. Everything behind us at the moment, sir. United in the news. Tell me it's getting better, sir. Tell me it's going to get better. The transfer news. We're back. Fabrizio Romano, quote, and Man United want to sign a left back on the next few days. Yes, tell us one of the three names that topped the list. One was Reguilon, but he moved to Tottenham. Manchester United are now negotiating with Tellus. What did you think? Tell us about Tellus.
Tell us about Tellus. So, sir, I don't know if you remember, but last year I did go to Portugal, and I was asking a lot about Bruno Fernandes. We were attached to him even back then, and that's who I was asking everybody about. Went up to Porto, and our tour guide, I asked him about Bruno, and he goes, man, the one you got to sign is Alex Telles, because he was a Porto fan, left back, Brazilian guy, upgrade from Shaw. He actually called out Shaw by name, but the number I'm hearing is he is in the last year of his contract. United's already agreed terms with him, which is standard, but he'd be available for as low as 18 million pounds, about 20 million euros. Sounds a good deal. 27 years old. Apparently not as good of an upside as Reguilon, but not as expensive, and obviously no buyback clause. So I think this is a good deal, good player, and has a little bit of that Herrera edge. Got a little of that, that grit that we need.
So he's 27, a little older, rumored 5-year deal, right? That would take him right through, I'm not balking at that. 18 million, the price, like you said, his contract's up in a year. Tell us, the interesting part is he had one of his breakout seasons last year, 11 goals, 8 assists, and 31 caps for Porto. We need goals. If you look at how we're trying to play, We want to get the right and left back forward, right? Even you play in a 3, you get the wing backs as well. We need pace. We need creativity. We need those assists coming in. I just think we need balance. But, we might get covered at left back, but what about right back? Now, you got, obviously, the spider, Aaron Wan-Bissaka can do a job, but can you do it every single week? So, is Fosu Mensah the man? I don't know. Again, I'm looking back there. Center back as well. That's really where we need to strengthen across the board.
No, I think Telles is a good buy because I think the price is good. He is actually, on his day, I think he could be better than Luke Shaw for sure if he can stay fit. And especially with Shaw's injury problems, he's going to be given a chance to step up. So we'll see. From what we've heard from the club, what we heard through the rumor mill is that they see Brandon Williams as a natural right back. He is the backup to AWB. They want to bring in someone to challenge Luke at left back, and then I think Timothy is kind of an all-over guy. I would play him at center back because he looks like he'd do a job as well. But I like this transfer. We need more of it, but this is a good buy if they can get it for £18 million.
A step in the right direction. Let's hope we can get this business done. But again, we're being punished because we're not signing players early in the window. And yeah, Telles is great, but bring him in late. I mean, it just every week matters. I don't think Woodward understands that. He plays too many games, and we're always caught out at the end of the window. So it always turns ugly. I mean, we haven't even sold Chris Smalling to Roma.
Well, speaking of that, they're saying that's the rumor, that this is basically the Smalling money, that we got someone to pay 20 million euros, hashtag Inter, and we're going to use it straight for an LB.
Yep, that's how broke we are at the moment. Speaking of Woodward, speaking of the Glazers' scum, hashtag Woodward out, hashtag Glazers out. Woodward decided to speak to the press, but he only speaks to Andy Mitten, and Andy Mitten writes for the United Review. And the reason why he does this is because they don't ask him any tough questions. They softball, and pretty much I'm sure they have a PR person just type up a statement, and they literally mail it to United Review, and then they pretend like it's an interview. Exactly. Andy Mitten has blocked us on Twitter, and the only thing we did was tweet him and say, have you looked at the financials of the club?
He's a chump. Don't worry about Andy Mitten.
Well, my point is he's so in the Woodward camp that he's blocking anyone who says, hey, look at the financials. We don't have the money. And that's something where it's almost a crime to not even, if you're a journalist, you cover a club and you're not going to cover how much money or where they spend their money. It's kind of insane. Just so we can get this one interview that we're going to read it to you. You got some real gems in here. From Ed Woodward, quote, I should read like a robot. Disruption from the pandemic is continuing to create huge economic pressures from the top and bottom of the football pyramid. And while we are fortunate to be in a more resilient position than most clubs, which we're not because our owners have dried us completely cashed out, we are not immune from the impact. Despite this, we are delighted to have brought in Donny van de Beek from Ajax, adding further quality to a midfield already strengthened by the recruitment of Bruno Fernandes.
They're trying to get credit for January signings. That tells you everything you need to know.
It's bad. Quote, Donny and Bruno are players we have been tracking for some time, and their signings reflect our long-term approach to blending high-quality recruits with homegrown talent to develop a squad capable of winning trophies and playing attacking, entertaining football, sir. This is like an investor call. As part of this process, we have also awarded new contracts to Nemanja Matic and Academy graduates Dean Henderson, Brandon Williams, and Scott McTominay and Mason Greenwood over the past year. We also continue to strengthen our thriving academy by attracting several promising young players across Europe, including Marc Guajardo, I don't even know how to say that, from Barcelona, Alvaro Fernandes Carreras from Madrid.
Pretty good, sir.
Together, these investments reinforce our optimism about the future, and we will continue to build on these strong foundations. However, we must also be responsible in our use of resources during the most extraordinary, challenging time for everyone.
Must be responsible. We don't want to be irresponsible stewards of the club. It means that sounds like I ain't getting no Sancho.
Yeah, but as any credible journalist would say, okay, how has Manchester United's cash position been impacted by the dividends and interest payments that Glazers have taken out of this club, and are we being affected? Is our transfer business being affected by their pocketbook and lack of investment in Manchester United? And the answer to that is absolutely yes, but he won't answer that question. So to me, Woodward speaking out through someone else writing these words, he probably doesn't even know these players, honestly. At the end of the day, it's a crime what they're doing. They're trying to cover it and hide behind COVID. They've taken $1 billion out of this club. It's clear as day. The stadium is falling apart. There's no excuse. This is just complete bullshit from Ed Woodward. Hashtag Glazers out. Hashtag Woodward out. They know they're selling the club. They're selling the club as distressed. They've just ruined it. There's nothing left, sir. There's nothing left on the bones.
Well, there's plenty left because this is still Manchester United. This is still the greatest club
in the
history of the world. So yeah, I know there's no money left. I know there's no money for Sancho. They're levered to the to their
It's
eyeballs.
like a carcass. It's like, look at Old Trafford falling apart.
It is. It's a sham, and it's like unbelievable. They're building a new $600 million stadium in Everton for the Toffees, and we can't even get Old Trafford updated. It's like
Everton,
leaky roof.
6 points. Everton, 6 points. Manchester United, 0.
They spent more money than we have.
0.
They spend more money than we have.
Leeds has spent more money than we
They've
have.
got a better structure
Liverpool,
up top than we
7.
do. They actually have a DOF. Know what they're doing.
But like
they're backing their manager.
The fact that Andy Mitten and United Review prints this,
he's
is
not
insane.
a journalist. He's a soccer journalist, football journalist. He's not a real journalist. He's not like an investigative journalist.
Yeah,
he's just like
you should be a
regurgitating.
journalist.
Yeah, of course, but the
Right.
bar is very low.
Okay, speaking of journalism, and we've been asking this question all summer. Why aren't people calling out Manchester United's owners? It's clear
Other
as
than us.
day. Like, I mean, we're the fans on the couch. I mean, I've gone through the financials. It's clear as day what these people are doing. They're not treating this amazing club with the respect it deserves, not treating the fans with the respect that they deserve. And ESPN finally, one of the major press outlets to actually shoot like shots fired. This is the most direct attack at United I've seen in a long time. Somebody finally decide to like take off the muzzle and say what everyone's thinking. And I saw Patrice Evra follow up and do it. I hope this is a trend in the press. Neville's definitely criticized them, kind of, but no one's really coming out and being like, you are bad at doing business in the transfer window and you're Manchester United. Wake the hell up. Here we go from Julian Lawrence, ESPN FC, hot take.
Are they kidding me? Are Manchester United actually not understanding the frustration of their own fans? I'll tell you why they're frustrated, the Manchester United fans. And I think if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, I would be frustrated. Not for the fake news of transfers and being linked with players who they're not really linked. No, for the players that they were in for, but that they keep missing out. Year after year, summer after summer, the same thing happening every time of like, well...
But Jules, this is what they're talking about. They're saying, we were never interested in this, in player X, for example.
No, but I'm telling you the players they were interested in.
But they're saying they were not interested in
No, but Gabriel, they were interested in, I can tell you that. They missed out on him. They would have
they're
signed
saying
him.
they
missed
weren't.
out.
It's just Twitter talk.
No. I'm telling you, Gabriel, they were. Danny van de Beek, they were lucky that he'd already agreed with Real Madrid and that one didn't come through and they were able to sign him. Bruno Fernandes, it took them 18 months to sign him. Erling Haaland chose another club.
But they were never interested in him because they... I don't know.
Jadon Sancho is still not happening. I mean, every summer is the same. If you're a United fan, you go crazy. They just don't know whether it's Matt Judge, Ed Woodward, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't care. The tea lady, the guy at the security gate. I don't care. They're incompetent when it comes down to transfers. And that's why their own fans are frustrated. I swear some of their players may be frustrated by the lack of reinforcement, of strengthening, by how bad they are on the transfer window. All the agents say it.
It's funny because the other guy, so I don't know this guy, he's very right, but the other Garbati or whatever he's a big time ESPN FC. Like he'll say whatever the club tells him.
He was playing devil's advocate. I think he was kind of chumming it up a little bit. Yeah, no, I don't think he was being. He was just like, well, but that's always the story. Like Gabriel went to Arsenal, we didn't get him. Like Holland goes to Dortmund, we didn't get him. Bellingham goes to Dortmund, we didn't get. I mean, these are the things where it's like Woodward almost enjoys playing up transfers and then never doing them. And it is kind of a little sleight of hand, but we should get used to it as fans where it's like, we're not going to believe. We've said in the past, I'm not going to believe it till they're holding up the shirt, because at the end of the day, as United fans, they like link us to Sancho. I thought last year it was Champions League. This time we know they don't have the money. They just don't have the money, and they're broke. How could a $3 billion football club be broke? Because it's run like a trust fund.
It's run like a piggy bank, and it's been like bled dry. But it's good to hear someone from a major outlet actually call a spade, because they have completely shied away from this. They do it on NBC Sports. They probably do it on Sky Sports. But they just want to admit that like this club has been sucked dry, and it's also just been poorly managed. Let alone the Glazers have sucked the club dry, but also Woodward has been a complete moron since ever since Fergie retired. I could point to like 10 to 15 critical errors he made within 12 to 24 months of him leaving, and just like you fire all of Fergie's staff and let David Moyes come in and bring his chump crew.
But he doesn't have experience. He doesn't have it. He's like literally an investment banker. He did the deal with the Glazers. All he's in charge of is just like getting them more money, which he's done a good job at. He actually has overseen the bleeding out of Manchester United, lying to the fans, manipulating the media, hiring PR people to press down the Glazer opposition. It's complete it's a complete joke. His only concern is selling this club for a $3 billion payday. By the way, he has $8 million in stock. That stock will probably go for $10 to $12 million when it's sold. That's the only thing he cares about is that check, sir. He does not care about the fans at Manchester United. Neither do the Glazers. So everyone should just get that through their head. But this is a big moment, a big media outlet. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, ESPN, those are the Glazers. I mean, they lean on a lot of people. There's a reason why not a lot of people are talking about this, and I like to see them breaking out because it's almost indefensible. Mourinho, it was like on the fence. They blame Mourinho. He went kind of crazy, but at the end of the day, you made top 4. He didn't back you, and
Second
Mourinho
place.
blew it up. I almost don't blame him because he's like, what am I here for? I'm one of the best managers of all time. You gotta invest. I'd expect if I hired Mourinho, you got to pay him $400 or $500 million on players. Otherwise, there's no point. There's no point in bringing Mourinho. He brings in a super team, wins 2 or 3 things in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and he's gone. That's how he works. So if you're not going to get on board with the plan, then what are you doing?
No, the fact that you're going to spend more money when they miss the Champions League versus make it means you have no idea what the hell you're doing. Because you're just doing the bare minimum.
All right, fan questions. Oh, this is going to be a riot, sir. At Dave Paws on Twitter. Absolutely gutted. We never looked like winning. It's so obvious we need reinforcement. Half the team is not good enough. Left back, center half, attacking options. All are a must for us, but it probably won't happen. Hashtag Glazers out. I have to agree. We need a lot of reinforcements because at the end of the day, there should be a little more competition, right? I think we kind of moved the needle from there used to be next man up to, all right, we got no choice. Here you go, Dan James.
No, I think there's a lot of talent in this squad. And, I do think we need reinforcements, but I think this is the best squad we've had at United since Fergie has left. So I think there's a lot of positivity. The boys came out flat. They got smoked, but they had some bad calls today, and it doesn't matter. We're only as good as our last result. We got to press on and get a big win on Tuesday.
I agree. The squad maybe has the most potential. I think they have the most potential.
A lot of talent.
You can't, it's almost like you're like, let's lean on Menji to be our start on center back. And it should never be that. That should never be the case. So again, you can argue where it is, but I do think there's no doubt we need 3 or 4 players this window to strengthen this team and add more competition and plus sell 3 or 4 players. So the real crime is not selling the dead wood, in my opinion.
No, and all the players that you got, not for free, but because they're academy players. Like, where would we be without Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford? B-Dubs, Scott McTominay. Those are players that would go in this market for quite a bit of money. So that's also just bailed out Woodward. Players that he didn't have to buy in the open market.
I like this Twitter handle, at GlazersOutFC. Quote, if that performance was a sign of what's to come this season, it's going to be a long one. I still don't think Lindelof is great as a center back. We definitely need some fresh blood in the defensive department. Easy game Tuesday to get us ready for Brighton. We need to shape up quick. Glory, Manchester United. Like that one. At Ty Kircher, kill me now. What a shit show. I mean, that is a valid concern. At you, Bosun, called it. Nonetheless, awful all around except McSauce. Extra awful from Lindelof, responsible for all 3 goals. Honorable mention for terrible team selection by Ole. Only hope this is the reverse of last season where the first game was amazing, but misery soon followed. I agree. Harsh criticism from Ulrich, but I hope that this wakes us up rather than lulling us. Like Chelsea almost made us feel invincible, and then we kind of fell from there.
Yeah, and this is a long season. There are going to be ups and downs, but if we go on a run from here, maybe it's what we needed to wake us up because last season we were all flying high. I remember how fun it was after we smashed Chelsea 4-0, but the next 6 weeks were misery.
At IC1 on Twitter, I say we forget Sancho and get a new right back and center back. Defensively, we were horrid. I have to totally agree. Need to strengthen defense. It's clear as day right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy a right back. I'd buy a center back, left back, and maybe a CDM. I think that guy that talk about at Valencia, the Mata Jared Parent, might be a good buy.
You don't even, right now we're in the bargain bin so low, you don't even know their names.
Exactly.
That's how low we've gone.
He's Serbian and he's big. That's all I know.
At BryGuy666, quote, teams that win league titles and tournaments throughout the season have such a swag about them. United truly looked like a middle to lower table team today. It's only one game, but a strong win sets the precedent for a season that could shut up our doubters. Disappointed. I do agree. For me, it's almost like how we were playing at the end of last season to how we showed up beginning of this season. It's almost like our minds have been elsewhere. And it's hard to discount that footballers have been on break, and it's only been a month. They come back, COVID, all this stuff, a lot going on, and let's hope that they buckle down and improve over the season.
Yeah, I think we have to give them the benefit of the doubt because they literally, much of them got back a couple of days ago. Like you could tell fitness is an issue. And also these players, they've been put through the ringer. A couple of them only got like 2 weeks off because they had to go play, Nations League? What the hell is that? That was like friendlies, right?
I know, absolutely.
Madness.
At Cassidy Sanders on Twitter really shows we need a director of football and keep Woodward on the commercial side. So frustrating to see our rivals getting good business done while we were just sitting idle. I agree with you, Cassidy, but the problem isn't director of football because where's the money? So at the end of the day, you could hire a director of football, but there's going to be no money.
I mean, they need a director of football. A director of football will probably be like working on getting Pogba re-signed before he leaves for free next year or the year after. But we need a director of football because Ed Woodward's a goddamn idiot. He doesn't know a thing.
At @_Triola, what the hell was that performance? They let Palace walk all over them. I will say they literally dominated us. Like last season, they pipped us. This season, they wiped us. I hope it's this whole early season start. At GreekFest 1981, that was a complete disgrace. No heart. At JM McLiver, yes, we looked poor, but honestly, Palace were the better team today. Their back line played a great game. It was definitely hard to penetrate. Need to get cleaner passing going and play with more speed. We slowed everything down way too much. Next week will be better. I like the optimism, sir. I think that will be it.
That's a good way to end the pod.
End the pod on the up. Look, it was a shit sandwich today. It was like I was physically affected watching that match. It was terrible, sir. It's tough to watch. That's why we do the pod. That's why we show up. We talk it out. Look on trending. Glazers out, Woodward out. That's trending right now. I think that's where we should direct our anger here. Let's be light on the players. Let's hope they find their stride. Let's be light on the manager. Other than Lindelof, I'll say. Let's be light on everyone other than Lindelof. and kick on.
No, I think we need to, let's be light on the players. Let's be light on the manager, and let's be really critical of the owners and the chairman, because right now, that's when their bread is buttered. This is where he gets judged. Transfer market, baby. And we got a big holes to fill. We got players to sell. And we have 2 weeks left? The transfer window, 3?
2 weeks.
It's like, dude, with Eddie, what are you waiting for?
October 5th,
What are you waiting for?
Waiting for that, probably.
Nothing. For Eddie to win.
They're waiting for Glazers out trending.
To go away.
He drops that lame interview, and then their earnings are going to come out as well. I'm sure that's going to give another picture. Hopefully people start picking this up. I think the press might have to pick it up. Their investor call, they're going to talk about what's going on. Clearly, the momentum of the team, they have to talk about, if we don't start well, they're going to talk about that. So we'll keep you posted on americanreddevils.com. That has been the pod. Boy, it's been tough to go through. But the pod never sleeps, sir. We show up. Good fans are tested when the team is at their low, not when they're at their high, sir. And this is something about sticking with this team. Never give up. Never surrender.
And remember, there's a lot of games. We're going to have a shit ton of games this year. Let's not get frustrated by, the valleys and the peaks. It's part of it. Let's just keep supporting the boys, and let's kick on from here. Tuesday, Luton Town. We ain't getting kicked out of the EFL Cup this early.
So EFL Cup, I'm not gonna be too bothered about winning that, honestly. What are you like? You're a big EFL Cup guy?
No, I'm not. Like I said, we're not Spurs. But you like the minutes, and it's a tune-up match.
Yes,
it's a tune-up match, and we need minutes. So put it in a strong 11, and let's bash them.
I think we will, sir. Tuesday, tight turnaround. Look, it's been a real week for the podcast. You like to support us, drop a review on iTunes, www.americanreddevils.com. Check out the blog. Click on store. We got the merch. #Glazers out. Selling those scarves hot. We're getting a new shipment in and our new scarves as well. We'll keep you posted, sir. We've had a hell of a week for downloads. Let's check in with our top cities last 7 days.
Freedom Forward, as usual. Number 1, how you doing? Brooklyn, New York. Number 2, Durham, North Carolina. Number 3, Austin, Texas. Number 4, Cedar City, Utah. Sir, keep us going.
Number 5, Bay Area, San Francisco, California, O'Fallon, Missouri, Lee Summit, Missouri. Shout out Missouri, stepping up. New York, Newbury Park, California. Atlanta, sir. And then we had Croydon, United Kingdom down the list. We got Oslo, the Shire, Chicago, Columbus, sir. Hell of a list.
Don't forget about London.
Thank you for downloading the pod. Everything. Manchester United, never say die. We'll be back, sir. It's extra salty on the first day. You're like, especially a salty window. I was so excited for us to beat Palace because it's like, let's forget about all the Woodward, all this transfer window stuff. Let's get 3 points and then kick on. I kind of thought that would be like, the glimmer of hope and all the misery that social media has been throughout this transfer window, but then it's just a kick in the nuts.
Remember, form is temporary, class is permanent. And this team is not quite the finished product, but this team has a lot of quality to it. We're starting off slow. It was expected. We talked about it last pod, and they did exactly what we feared. But as long as the boys react the right way, it's not the end of the world.
Sir, we were going to finish out. New tradition here. It's called Get the Glazers Out. It's a rap by Mikey CTV. It only has 150 views on YouTube. Check him out, Mikey CTV on YouTube. #Glazers Out. Absolutely love this rap. We'll be playing it until Maybe not until the Glazers are gone, but until he can play Ole's at the wheel.
End of the wheel, maybe. End of the
there
window.
There we go. Get the Glazers out, son.
Glazers out.
Answer me this. Why is it any season we finish within the top 4, the manager then ends up sacked, and there's no investment being put into the club? It's like there's no forward thinking within the management, the owners that own our club. It's like you're just happy taking that